Very nice seeing your very beautiful faces. What's evening for me, but good morning to everyone. Thank you. Hello.
Hello.
Okay.
Just a minute, gentlemen. I want to tell my students if they need to switch on the captions, and they know how. I have to make sure they know how to do that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Allow me to speak in Chinese for a while. 大家你知道那个字幕要怎么打开吗？好，可以的话，就是在那个下面那边有3个点，它里面会有字幕，你就把字幕看到英文，因为它没有中文，它就有英文字幕。所以如果我们的老师讲比较快的话，你就可以稍微注意一下字幕的地方。OK， 好了，我们要开始喽。Hi, Jeven.
Okay.
Yeah, you can start. Thank you.
Okay. Well, just a short introduction. Hello, everyone. My name is Jeven Huey. I am 4th generation Taishanese American. So 我的家人是台山人，所以我的家人会说国语、广东话和台山话。Yeah, I don't look like it, but yeah, that's a little bit about me. I don't really have too much teaching experience other than teaching Guangdonghua to about 7 students last year for 2 years straight. And yeah, I'm just really excited to be here, and I'll get it started right now. Okay, so our topic for today, if everyone can see my screen, you can just shake your head or do a wave or something. You can see my screen. Our topic for today is survival English, and the subtopic is directions and public transit. And our second topic would be various English accents and dialects, and a little bit linguistic talk about that, just a little bit. Okay. Hopefully you can use this guide to help you feel more comfortable using English in a situation that you need to get around in an English-speaking country. So some basic vocab. I did purposefully leave some things blank, so don't worry, everyone. Just can anyone tell me what public transit means? Anyone would like to?
请大家直接开麦克风讲好吗？这样比较快。Okay, how about Sophie? Do you know what does that mean?
I don't know.
I don't know. That's okay. So basically public transit, well, when we say that, transit comes from transition. So transition means to move from one to another. So in this case, public transition, but we just shorten it to public transit. Or you could say public transportation, so everyone moving together, the public moving on anything that the city offers for us to get around on. So examples of public transportation would be, does anyone want to shout anything out? Have you used public transportation? Cynthia, would you like to name one example of what a type of public transportation is? Oh, Bruce has one bus. Yeah, bus station. Cynthia, could you please name something?
Taipei has MRT. It's just like how do you wait a minute.
MRT. Isn't that the rail system?
Yes, public transport here in
Thailand.
Taipei. We call MRT.
Oh, okay. Very good. Thank you. Thank you, everyone who typed out. Thank you, Phoebe. Thank you, Bruce. Thank you, Cynthia. So some little vocab for it. To take, to ride a blank. That could be to take a taxi, to take a bus, to take a tram, to take the MRT for your example, or you could say to ride. Both of those verbs are okay for talking about public transportation. Another thing is to the left and to the right. You know, if you're reading a map, or if you're giving or receiving directions, it is very helpful, obviously, to know your directions in English on to the left, or to the left of something, or to the right. And the same thing is for in front, behind, or in between of something. So that would be useful for later on in the presentation. So let's set the scene. Can we have someone read read this slide for us? Can perhaps Bruce, can you read this slide for us? And I have a little bit of a note on one of those words.
You have just arrived to an
Anglophone.
Anglophone country for art or country, let's say the United States.
Mm-hmm.
You now need to get from the airport to a country or a friend's house. The question is, how can you do this in English?
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Bruce. So just a little bit of fun vocab if you want. I don't know how many situations you are going to use this in, but the term Anglophone. So Anglophone means like it can describe people or a place that speaks English. So Anglophone region like would be the United States, the UK, Canada, Australia, South Africa, the Philippines, India. Those are places that is an Anglophone countries because English is a very popular language there, or the official language there. And if we take off the first part of the word Anglo, that usually means referring to England or referring to English. We can put other words there like Francophone, French speaking places like Quebec, France, places like that. Or you can put Sino, Sino, Sinophone countries, meaning like a Singapore. They have a very Chinese population or a Chinese language speaking population. Um, the People's Republic of China or the Republic of China, Taiwan, or like Taiwan. Those are Sinophone countries because the major language there is of a Chinese language. What in linguistic world is Chinese languages. So that's just a little bit of vocab there. So let's move on. If anyone has any questions, feel free to stop me anytime, write in the chat or unmute. I do not mind. So right now, you're at the airport. You begin your trip to the United States at LAX, Los Angeles International Airport. From LAX, you need to go to the Ritz-Carlton Hotel. This is a picture of the Ritz-Carlton. It's a very beautiful hotel. It's very expensive. I just chose it because it looks really pretty. So, but I wouldn't recommend going to there unless you want to like spend like a massive amount of money for just a few days or a few weeks. So this is a bit of a snapshot of LAX, not the whole airport, but where we are going to be at. So you can see that there's a few different airlines there and a few different like the dots around Worldway, that street Worldway. It goes all the way around. You see at the top Aero Mexico, that's an airline. And right next to it, you can see that's a Terminal 3 And if you keep following down, it's Terminal B. Keep going, and all the way down, you see Hawaiian Airlines, Spirit Airlines, and Alaska Airlines. So for our purposes, I'm just trying to get you to get used to how the layout is, because that's usually how most airports are. They have especially big ones, a lot of terminals around a parking area, and within those parking areas, you can see they're numbered with a P and a number there. That is where you can begin your journey to wherever you need to go. In our case, the Ritz-Carlton Hotel. So, how are we going to get there? There's no trains. And I'm going to be honest, I wouldn't recommend using American buses. It's not the best. So I would say for more accurate purposes, and this is most Americans too, we use like either we call someone to help us pick us up, like a friend or a family member, or we use Uber or Lyft or some type of taxi service like that. So let's go with that for now. But if you want to talk, if you have any questions about the buses or the trains, feel free to ask. So scene 2, can someone read scene 2 for us? We have my Mandarin is so bad I can't read. Can we have Phoebe read this for us?
The taxi-like service have stayed somewhat the same in the last 20 years. The most common way of travel upon arriving to your desired destination would be by using apps or city taxi service. They work very similarly.
Yes. Thank you very much, Phoebe. It was very good. Thank you very much. So the taxi system, usually in the old days, we had like a lot of city taxi companies. You would call, and then you would tell them where you were, what streets you were on, and they would have a taxi go there. You would wave them down, say, "That's my taxi," and then you go in, and then you tell the person where you want to go, and they would type it into their navigational computer, and you would just go. It's not as common, especially on this side of the States. I don't see that many. So we're going to talk about the apps. I'm sure maybe some of us have used Uber or Lyft or other apps like that. You type in where you want to go, and they send a driver to you. It's the same way. It really hasn't changed in the last few decades. Type in where you want to go, and then they send a driver there for you, and then you just get in the car, you register with the driver, and then you go. And we'll talk about how that is in America, how being in a taxi-like service is. So as we can see, this is a map of from point A to point B. So from the Los Angeles International Airport all the way at the bottom up to the Ritz-Carlton Marina Del Rey Hotel. Very beautiful. So that's not really too much to explain. I just wanted you guys to look at the map from where you needed to go. So arriving at the hotel. So can we please have, oh, I just realized people has a question. So after the slide, I will answer those questions. Can we please have someone read the slide, please? Ivan, perhaps? Ivan, can you please read the slide?
Ivan, 周海文, can you read thing 3?
Can you please read the scene 3 for us?
Tipping is customary for any act of service such as taxi-like services. You can give a tip of whatever amount, usually for every $5, give $1 for the drive.
Thank you. So I'm going to add on to that. People ask a question, not safe for buses, and will it be expensive to take a taxi? For the buses part, it is safe relatively, but I mean, the buses, it takes really long, and that's why, and especially how it's laid out where they go. And as I said, I really wouldn't recommend you taking the buses because it's really gonna take a long time.
It's very time consuming for taking buses there.
Will it be expensive to take a taxi? It depends on especially how far you want to go. Really, it really just depends on that. But if it's just from, maybe it's like a 15-minute commute, it's like it's like 20 to $30. But but like I said, the app system, the Uber and the Lyft, those are cheaper options instead of calling for like the city like taxi services. So I would recommend using the apps for that. Thank you for your questions, and thank you, Ivan, for reading. Oh, now we're at the hotel. Ooh. As you can see, the hotel is in between the FedEx Dropbox and the Siesta charters. It is in front of the sea. If we were looking at it from the front of it, anyway. And it is to the left of it, we have the Via Regatta Street, and to the right of it, well, we're looking at it from an aerial point of view. From the right, we have the Cast and Plow restaurant that is at the hotel. Here we have a fixed price for the airport. Okay, it's not too bad. Yeah, and if anyone doesn't have any questions, we will speedily move on to English accents and dialects, because I just looked at our time. Anyone, you can type in the chat and I'll read it. Okay, so what is the difference between an accent and a dialect? Does anyone know? Does anyone if you know the definition, or have you heard of these words before? Do you know what an accent is, or do you not know what a dialect is, or vice versa?
This is a very difficult question for them because they are just 8th graders. This is very linguistic term.
So. Yeah, very, very linguistic, but it's okay. We are English learners. Even I am a native speaker, but I'm still learning my language. We'll be many linguistic learners today, so we're gonna maybe pique your interest into it. So let's move on to what a dialect is first. So can we have someone read this slide? Not the example, but just that one sentence for us. Judy?
Yes, a region's way of speaking, referring to grammar, spelling, vocabulary, and pronunciation.
Thank you very much. That was beautiful. Thank you very much, Judy. So yes, as Judy said, a dialect is a region's way of speaking, referring to grammar, spelling, vocabulary, and pronunciation. So let's keep those four in mind. So uh, in the United States, we have a lot of different dialects. We have 7 major dialects. So a word that me as someone on the West Coast might say someone differently from in the South is talking about soda or carbonated drinks like Sprite or Fanta or Coke. You know, in the South they would mostly say pop, or in the really deep South, Coke, 可乐, to refer to everything as Coke. But for me, I would call it soda. And so that's what my dialect is different from their dialect. And also pail and bucket, meaning, you know, the thing that you carry water in. And also you guys and y'all. So you guys is very mostly everyone in the United States mostly says that except the South. The South says y'all, meaning you and all, and they just put it together, put the apostrophe there. So this is a little map. So there's about 7 here that we can see. This doesn't mean that everyone speaks the same way, obviously, in those areas, but generally we will have the same type of pronunciation, grammar, and spelling. So an accent. Can someone read this for us? What an accent is? Mon Miao, right there. Please help us with this first sentence, please.
请问曼妙在吗？何曼妙。Okay. Then how about we can have 静文 Winnie. 静文
way of saying words not renting to grammar, spelling, or vocabulary. American and British English.
Oh, you just need to read the first sentence. But I heard you. Thank you very much. So yes, as Weenie said, is only referring to the region's way of saying words, so pronunciation. And there's many different types of accents. So for right now, what I'm speaking and what is mostly taught in other schools, like let's say in Asia, is the American Standard accent. In Hong Kong, it's more leaning to British pronunciation because of Hong Kong being once owned by England. And in some parts of mainland China, especially the north, I've seen British pronunciation is seen as the superior to American, or they prefer that. But that's another story. So an example would be, so I say this in the American way. On Tuesday, I spread butter on my toast. You can hear Tuesday and butter are the only words that I would pronounce differently. So in a British standard way, you could say on Tuesday. They have a bit of a CH noise when it comes to TU. I spread butter. See, the T's are still there. In American English, we mostly tend to replace the T's with a D to make it softer. But the Brits, they attack the T. they really emphasize it. And the last example is inventory, water, better. So, and in a British way, you could say inventory, water, better. So inventory. So words that usually end with a T-O-R-Y the O tends to drop and it becomes tree, or still they pronounce it in the American way. Water, the A doesn't make a wah, an ah sound, it makes an O sound there. And then, like we said with butter, is the T's there, and better are better. So the T's are tacked. So that's that for you. And also just I forgot to say a little side note on dialects. If you still don't understand what dialect is, for example, really quickly, Hokkien, Hokkien, Taiwanese, in Fujian province and in Taiwan, you would mostly say um, 多谢 for like a thank you. In the south, like in Laos, in Philippines, in Cambodia, and in Thailand, to say thank you would be 感谢. That would be dialectal, not accent, because you're still saying thank you, but the beginning is different. So that's a maybe more in-depth and a maybe more relatable example for everyone about the dialects and accents. So yeah, it's the same language, like I said, same language, but people say things differently, people spell things differently, and this is for every single language in the world, any region. And if you don't have any more questions, then I'm done.
Oh, okay. Thanks for this interesting sharing for the dialects and the accents. Oh, can we have your slide to share? Because I think most of my students would want to know more about this.
Oh, you want my slides?
Yeah. Because we
Oh,
didn't
okay.
get slide share in
Oh,
the previous lectures.
oh no. Oh, okay. Let me copy it.
Yeah, I can just send it to them.
Oh, okay. Here, and it should be. There you go for everyone. Everyone can see it.
Oh, thank you.
Yep.
So anyone who, okay, please just share, take the link and just get the things that you need. All right, so thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's very interesting to hear that. Any questions, everyone? Okay, so can we say 新年快乐 to Jeven? Hello, everyone. 新年快乐.
新年快乐，新
哦，
年快乐。
新年快乐，
Yeah,
新年快乐。
新年快乐，大家恭喜发财啊！
恭喜发财，谢谢。
Okay. Thank you, everyone. You guys are wonderful class. Wonderful.
You too. Thank you.